Accumulating quickly, it's leading to airport closures, road closures, the suspension of ferry service. Joining us now, Borough President Donovan Richards with the very latest. Donovan, thanks for joining us this morning. What's it looking like in Queens right now?
It's looking like a white Christmas right now.
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean, we've had about 2 inches that have fallen thus far, but sanitation is out. The trucks are out salting and doing as much as they can. And I want to first commend all of our first responders who are working today, from sanitation to NYPD to OEM. So we're obviously, people are stuck inside, and I would suggest everybody stay inside so that our first responders could do their job.
You know what? That's always so essential in times like these. I was out on the road early this morning, like so many of my colleagues, as we're getting into the station. I was shocked at the number of people that were on the roads. I was also really impressed with the plows and the salters that I saw out early, and then, of course, the emergency service vehicles that were responding to the inevitable crashes from people being on the roads. Yep. One of the big things that you deal with in Queens is it is a really diverse place when it comes to the way your roads are set up. The outer boroughs especially have real trouble spots where the streets are a little bit narrower. It's harder for plows to get through. We've done reporting over the years where, some streets are kind of left behind. How do you liaise with DSNY to make sure that there aren't any of those neighborhoods in the borough that you are in charge of?
So one of the things we do, and we predicted that obviously this would be a horrible storm for the borough. So we will have an emergency call, and what we do is we have all the community boards, all the civic associations, DSNY, OEM, NYCHA on the line with community leaders who help to troubleshoot some of the specific areas that perhaps are often left behind. We know that the main corridors are always going to be taken care of, right? Your business corridors will be taken care of, but it's always those, like you said, Hazel, those little side streets that nobody knows, the dead end on the dead end. So, we take notations of that every year so that we can make sure that sanitation has those specific spots. There's certain spots in Springfield Gardens, for instance, certain places in the Rockaways that are always forgotten. So we will liaise with them in the days to come. We often wait to after the snowstorm, so it'll be around Tuesday, so that they are allowed to do what they need to do, and then we can troubleshoot those spots that perhaps may have been forgotten with the community.
Hey, Donovan, let's talk about this. The 2 airports, you happen to have them in your borough. We're talking about LaGuardia and JFK. They're really going to be almost paralyzed. Let's talk about the hotels in the area.
Yeah.
You might have a lot of stranded passengers. Have you checked into that? Are they prepared?
Oh, of course. I mean, well, the hotel owners are happy. I mean, anytime they could get an extra dollar, I'm sure that they appreciate it. But yeah, JFK, they pre-warned all the travelers. I mean, this is not anything new. I think they were pre-warning people like earlier in the week that it's a possibility that all travel would be suspended. And, I would urge them to get some hot cocoa, spend money in Queens, and stay in Queens. Queens is a warm place despite how cold it is.
That's right, baby. And let's talk about, you've got some of the biggest, baddest roads across the 5 boroughs. You got the BQE, you got the LIE, you got the Grand Central. Do you have any idea how those are doing and how they're shaping up this morning?
Yeah, they're doing well. Like I said, the plows are out. You forgot the Van Wyck, by the way.
Yes, you're right. You got me on the Van Wyck. A lot of times I want to try to forget the Van Wyck because that's a tough road these days, my friend.
Listen, the Van Wyck is going to be done this year, I promise. And I often talk about the diversity of our borough because people get on the Van Wyck and they get stuck and they just stay in Queens. That's why we're the most diverse county in the United States of America. But that the main thoroughfares are being plowed. Van Wyck, LIE, Grand Central. Like I said, it's not often those roads that really are problematic for us. It's always those small blocks that may be left behind. I would, but Plow NYC is a great tool. I would urge anybody looking to see when their block is going to be plowed or if it has been plowed to go on to Plow NYC to follow sanitation's plowing efforts.
And we have one quick question for you before you go. Are you sweet or savory and a snowstorm? Are you about the chocolate chip cookies? Are you about the short ribs? What is your favorite? What's your go-to?
My go-to is potato chips.
Potato.
Barbecue potato chips. I guess sweet. I guess that can be considered sweet. Hickory too. A little bit on both.
We'll send you over a bag of gummy bears to be the chaser to your potato chips.
Well, I'm sure my son will be eating a lot of gummy bears today, being that he doesn't have school and he'll
I'm
be
sure no calories don't count during a snowstorm. Borough President Donovan Richards, you're the best. Thanks for checking in with us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
Pleasure. Thank you, sir.